Hello everyone, this is Icy Cup Railcoon here for part 2 of this Game 2 of Sheth versus KiFire in the round of 64 qualifiers for the Global Gamers Invitational. Thanks for tuning in. You are watching Icy Cup TV on YouTube. If you just tuned in, KiFire has started off with a pretty aggressive Reaper opening and just came in and killed the spawning pool of Sheth. Really annoying, but at this point in the game, his lair is up. He has a Roach Warren finished and a Hydralisk Den on the way. So killing the spawning pool really is not the biggest hit to him. Yes, it's annoying. He's going to want to rebuild it just so he can keep making Zerglings. But at this point, he can just cover himself by making some Roach Hydras in between. So it's not going to, do huge amounts of detrimental damage except having to use one drone and 200 minerals to rebuild that spawning pool. But he did get in there and he got to look around. He saw the lair, he saw the Roach Warren. So it's not a complete waste. I just think if he had gone for some drones or maybe other key targets like the Roach Warren, then possibly he may have been able to do more damage, but it is hard to say for sure. So as we look back up at KiFire, we do see that he's got just stuff everywhere. If you look at his supply depots, they're placed kind of haphazardly, which is a bit dangerous because there's not much room to build production facilities now. Like, he can put a starport here, maybe another one right here, but that might not even be tall enough. With these supply depots just scattered everywhere, it's blocking a lot of building space. And you got to be really careful about that, because now if he just has to build all of his production buildings here, he could wind up sort of blocking himself in, or even mazing himself so that in order to get units back there in case his opponent drops them later on, he'll get trapped and have to lift buildings up. But he does come in here and take out that evolution chamber as it's being morphed. Very annoying. Before getting chased away by some roaches and hydralisks. So he's down to just a couple of Reapers. One trick you could do with these Reapers is the range on the Xel'Naga watchtowers is longer moving away than coming in. So if you were to send one of these down here and then have it jump back up the cliff, on many maps it will still keep the Xel'Naga watchtower activated even though you're at the top of the cliff. So for these two, I'm not sure if it works on this map. I wouldn't think it would because it looks like it's farther away than Lost Temple. But on maps like Lost Temple, you can use that to hold the watchtowers without being vulnerable to Zerglings. So there's a nice handy little trick there for you. So we do see that Sheth is going to drop this third base here over in this position. This is always an interesting choice to see which way the players expand on Desert Oasis. Because you can go in either direction, there are two paths. Some players will go straight for the high yield. That's especially popular amongst the Zergs in Europe, if they ever do play this map. But the trend in Europe is to go straight for a high yield whenever possible. So I would assume that holds true on this map, but I'm not entirely sure, as not many players play this map anymore. Sheth is ahead 1-0, so it is KiFire who chose this map. It is a pretty good map to do that Reaper opening on. I don't really think he executed the best, but because of the map, this map allows for some leeway in mistakes. He's going to send this pretty big bio ball that he has made after the Reapers have not worked, with a couple of medevacs forward to pressure Sheth's front. But if you look, he does have his Banelings on the way. He's got a decent number of Hydralisks, a couple of Roaches. He's got a bunch of Spinecrawlers, which he's now repositioning. That is very nice by his part. Get those Spinecrawlers in a much better position to help defend. And I would assume that Sheth is going to be alright here. Speed upgrade on the Banelings would help a lot, but it has not even started yet, so he's going to have to make do without it. If KiFire can stay in this choke point and effectively keep the Zerglings from surrounding him, use that slowing shot to kite just like that, he will be able to be very annoying, possibly do his decent amount of damage, and he focuses down that queen very, very quickly. Going to take out a couple of Spinecrawlers, but here comes Sheth. Banelings are starting to funnel in. His positioning is pretty good. He's got Marauders out in front blocking the squishy Marines, but there's just too many Banelings that keep coming in. He's whittled that bio ball down to almost nothing. He has a single Hellion mixed in, and the pre-igniter is about to finish. As that was going on, it appears as if he took out that expansion with the Reapers, I would imagine, as I cannot find them. Excuse me for missing that. But when you try to rewind, it goes back and forward, and intervals of 2 minutes. So that's a bit out of the question at the moment. I wish you could rewind in smaller intervals, as that would be very, very helpful. But we're working with the system we got, and just being able to rewind it all is very nice. So looks like KiFire is trying to transition into mech here, as he has an armory finished. He's got 2 factories, and he's making another command center to expand here. It could be just a biomech where he uses Hellions and possibly Thors mixed in with a little bit of bio here, and go for a pretty strong mid-game attack. Sheth is going to re-expand to the 3rd and the high yield at the same time. It's a pretty decent move by him. These watchtowers are very important because they do let you see the high yields. So his opponent is aware of the fact that this high yield is on the way. By the way that he's positioning, it looks like he's going to try and deny him that expansion. Sheth, in the meantime, is getting an infestation pit. He has double evolution chambers working on the level 2 melee and armor attacks. So possibly working towards Ultralisks, but the melee attacks do affect Banelings as well. So with these Baneling strategies that Sheth is kind of fond of in the mid-game, getting the melee attacks can be very effective while leading into a late-game Ultralisk build. It does look like he had some units loaded up into some dropships, but he gets caught in the middle by some well-positioned units of his opponent. He just loads them all back up into the Overlord because he only has a single Marine. So he's going to be able to drop these Roaches and Hydralisks up into his opponent's face just to get a look around. And this is what I mean, like, look how much of a mess his base is right now. He actually lifted off his main command center over to this base over here while he flies this new one over the high yield. It does look like he doesn't really care about keeping this gas going. He just wants to keep up in minerals with his opponent, which is a pretty decent move there. KiFire is doing a pretty good job of macroing here, and he really needs to drop these supply depots because his units are getting kind of lost in them. I'm surprised that this hatchery survived. Oh, apparently it didn't. I keep missing stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not paying close enough attention to the minimap. I'm getting a little bit overexcited. So Sheth's going to fly in some more Overlords just to look around. I would imagine he has a few extras, but he is, you know, already at his maximum supply cap. So losing Overlords at this moment isn't really important right now, as he will have time to rebuild them before he gets supply capped. So his 3rd base has come back up, and he still has quite a few Banelings. If you look down at his rally point, he's making mostly Banelings and Hydralisks, which is a little bit dangerous with this kind of mass Hellion that his opponent is doing, mixed in with bio. It might not be the best unit composition, but there are some infestors on the way, and fungal growth is pretty good on Hellions and on bio. So if he can get a decent number of infestors out, get that energy upgrade possibly, then he'll be able to shut this down rather effectively. This high yield is going to get taken out. I'm curious to see if he's going to use these Banelings. Probably only if he needs to. Because Banelings are going to be helpful against the army. Banelings could be used to power down the Planetary Fortress very quickly, but he wants to save those to deal with the Bio Ball. Still has not gotten that speed upgrade on the Banelings, which is a little bit surprising. Usually Sheth goes for that pretty quickly when he's doing these Baneling strategies, but his hive is almost done. Looking back at KiFire's base, he is starting to make some Thors off of this reactor, and Hellions off of the reactor, the Thor out of the tech lab, excuse me. So he is switching a bit more mechy here, as his barracks are sort of sitting idle, but he's pretty close to getting maxed here, as Sheth is pretty much at even food. As we look at the units tab, Sheth only has 1 infestor on the field. Oh my god. I just scared myself. I thought I hit the T button for restart. But it does look like I only skipped a little bit, so I'm just going to keep going. That was scary. If I had to restart the Steinercast, I would have been really angry. He does come in here to the high yield and take it out again. There are a few Vikings hanging out over Sheth's high yield, waiting to see if he'll try and take that once again. But it is on the way, and he's going to move the spine crawlers forward. I really like that, repositioning the spine crawlers. You got to be careful about where you put them here in the middle because it's rather wide open. But I'm going to pause right here because we're hitting about the 10-minute mark.